All right, everybody, we welcome you back here for the 2014-2015 contract renewal video tutorial and explanation of how in the world do you do this. We're excited to list all the information and really go step by step so that if you're not able to attend one of the housing contract renewal sessions that we'll have, we're going to make sure that you get information that you need on the video tutorial series. So today we're going to take a look at the application itself, changes over last year, because there are quite a few. So prepare yourself, and we hope that this guide will give you all the information that you need. One of the most convenient ways to get here is through the Housing and Residence Life main page. And if you see that, you're going to see the pictures listed as well as all the information. But don't make the mistake of going to the left side. You're going to go down to the right side and click Contract Renewal 2014. Or you can just type in wichita.edu/housing/contract renewal. Either way, it's going to take you directly to the link in the application. So when you do that, you're going to come to the contract renewal page for this year. It's going to walk you through the steps, talk about planning ahead, what you need to know this year to make things a whole lot easier. 3D floor plans, unfortunately, this year are not going to include Shocker Hall currently, but it will show you Fairmount information so that you're really aware of what options are available between a double or single. Your sign-up dates and what that means, the steps that we have for current students, and even those students that will show up second semester, and how we can help them through the process. That's going to be January through April. When you're signing up and eligibility requirements, it's really going to tell you what you need to have as a current student to reapply. And then we want to make sure that above all you know what you're doing. And your to-do list is to simply say, I've completed the application and I want to make sure I've done it correctly. So by clicking on the link, it's going to take you directly to the application. Now again, folks, you don't want to make the mistake of going to a new application. So if you see this page, you're on the wrong place. This is for applications for brand new students. That means they're coming in, they haven't lived with us, they're not living with us. This does not include you. So if you're a current resident of Wheat Shocker, Brennan, or Fairmount, this is the wrong page. You want to stay only in contract renewal. That page is going to give you the information to apply for next year. So again, contract renewal link, it's going to take you back to the application, and right here, this link at the very top is going to take you directly to the form that you're going to fill out. Contract renewal form will, at the beginning, list all the information you need to know for 2014-2015, and it's going to walk you through the steps of the application process. You have to be a freshman, sophomore, junior, currently living on campus, kind of limitations and completions to do it, and above all, and most important, to complete your application, you have to have a prepayment of $275 made for next year. That means $75 application fee and a $200 prepayment fee. Folks, remember, the prepayment goes towards your fall rent. It's not a deposit. You do not get it back. It basically is locking in your contract and actually will help you by going towards your fall semester rent. Then you're going to click here and go to the student account suite, where you're going to find the Residence Life and Housing link to make your payment. Once you do this online, it will complete the steps for you to pay your application and prepayment fee and to lock in that you're serious about living on campus for next year. Once you do that, you're going to go back to the application, and now we're going to start the steps to complete. First of all, we want to know, are you living on campus for next year? That's really what contract renewal is about. So you're going to select either yes I am or no I'm not. By doing that, that simply tells us that you are a current resident and yes, I'm coming back to campus, or no, you know what, I'm not going to live on campus for next year. You're going to have a little bit more if you select no to fill out. So we just know for our numbers that you're not coming back. But besides that, that's a limited amount for those who say no. For yes, you've got the full application. So once you click on that link, it's going to take you down to the steps you need to complete. First step is the summer. Yes, if you're a current resident, we need to know, are you continuing to live with us next summer? Are you going home? Are you staying all the way through for next year? So there's a couple things that you need to be aware of. First, I wish to stay on campus. And if you say I will stay as a current resident from May 17th through August 2nd, that's the short summer. And really that's telling us that this option is for residents who plan to stay for the summer but have said, you know what, I'm not living on campus for next year. Summer is going to finish out their spring contract, stay on the summer, but they're not coming back. So that's the first option. Only select that if you're not reapplying for 2014-2015. The next option is to say, you know what, I am going to stay here and I'm going to stay next year. So you're going to have the entire summer, the extended summer, which runs from the end of the spring, beginning May 17th through August 16th. And it says this option is for residents who plan to stay for us for the summer and then all of next year. And finally, the next option is, you know what, I'm not going to live on campus at all. I don't want to live on campus for the summer. I'm going home as an international student to my country, or as a domestic student, maybe I'm going back to my family. And just want to remind you, if you don't live here for the summer and you're intending to stay with us next year, 2014-2015, if you don't stay with us in the summer, you forfeit your room. Really, for next year, that only applies to Fairmount Towers. So in Fairmount, you're heading home for the summer, you're going to be reassigned to a different room when you return. That's really the steps for the summer, as well as your roommate, suite mate information. Do you know somebody you want to live with for the summer? Then list them. We have to have the information, including their gender, age, and WSU ID, as well as a suite mate, and tell us what you need to know. Because we want to know, are you living in Fairmount for the summer? And that really is going to apply to current students that live in Fairmount. And for those in Wheat Shocker that say, you know what, I want to live on campus for next year, your option is only going to be Fairmount or Shocker Hall in 2014-2015. So if you want to stay in Fairmount for the summer, you're going to select yes or no. And then we're going to need to know, what in the world do you want if you're going to stay over in Fairmount and not Shocker? So Fairmount's going to offer you a couple different options. One, you're going to stay in the summer. You want a double room. That means you want a roommate for the summer, and maybe even planning to stay that way for the academic year as well. Or maybe you want your own room. And you know what? For the summer, I just want a room to myself. Or maybe for the summer and all of next year, I want a single just to myself. Either way, that's for the summer, and you mark that. Or maybe you want to stay in Wheat Shocker, which you can select. If you're a current resident in Wheat Shocker, click that. We're going to keep you in there in the summer, but I want to remind you, it's only open until July 25th. And before Shocker Hall is ready, we're going to have to move you from Wheat Shocker to Shocker. So be aware. Meal plans are required for the summer, and they're different. So that means that you're going to have a 10 max default for Fairmount if you're going to live there, and 25 Shocker dollars. Or if you're in Wheat Shocker apartments for the summer, you are required to have a minimum meal plan of 125 Shocker dollars. Again, we have to know this so that we're prepared for all of those options. Next thing you're going to find is the Shocker dollars themselves. You're going to offer summer 125, or you can even go up to summer 250. And that 250 Shocker dollars is also going to be defaulted for you for the summer. Fairmount meal plans will 10 tickets a week with 25 Shocker dollars, 15 or 19. So you have a couple options to choose. If you don't choose, your default in Fairmount for the summer is 10 meals. That completes your summer. That's all you're required to do to let us know that you're staying. And then we're going to move to 2014-2015. So congratulations, this is the biggest piece of contract renewal. What are you doing next year? You've got two options, Shocker Hall or Fairmount. In Shocker, the brand new facility, 5 stories tall, brand new, ready for an August 6th opening. You're going to have your first option up, Plan 1. It's really a single room, and there's only a few of those for next year, 5 total. You can click that, and if it's available, we will look to assign you. Plan 2 is 3 private beds and 1 bath. That means 3 people will live together. Each one will have their own bedroom and share a common and a bathroom area. Plan 3 is going to be 2 shared beds. That's sort of like Brennan and Wheat Shocker and Fairmount as it is, kind of a partial wall, so you'll see each other. It's not an enclosed private bedroom, and then your common spaces. And then you're going to have a Plan 4, which is the 2 private bedrooms and 1 bath. And really what that is that you have your own private bedroom and you share a living area as well as your vanity and bath. And then your final option in Shocker Hall for 2014-2015 is the Plan 5. And this is the most options, the most amount of spaces that we have is that 4 private bed and 2 bath. That means 4 people live together. You each have your own private bedroom, but you'll have a common living area as well as 2 bathrooms. So be aware of that for Shocker Hall. Outside of Shocker and those floor plans that are listed, your next option for most upperclassmen is going to be the option for Fairmount Towers. In Fairmount, if you want to stay there for next year, you're going to have the option of a double room. That means you share with a roommate. And Different than Wheat Shocker, there's just a bathroom, no kitchen in Fairmount. Single room means you have a private room. Next step is your meal plans, and you're going to have a default of 19 tickets and 200 Shocker dollars for the semester, or you can choose some of the other options. Those are exclusive to Fairmount and to Shocker Hall. There is one additional meal plan that is only for Fairmount residents, and that's if you want the 5 tickets a week and 750 Shocker dollars for the semester. There really is more of a convenience if you want to use Blimpie's and Hubbard Hall, Radigan Student Center, and even new for next year will be the coffee shop in the new dining facility, which will accept Shocker dollars. So it's a great option that you can select if you want a little bit more on the Shocker dollar side. Then we need your information, your name, WSU ID, and we ask you to provide where you currently live. So if you want to stay in Fairmount again, we can kind of keep you close to the area that you already liked. So you say, I liked room 327, just go ahead and list that. Then we will have specialty preferences in Shocker Hall. So if you want to live with health professionals, you click that. Shocker Scholarship for athletes or other scholars, you'll click that option. Engineering, honors floor, and so on. These are the things that you're going to list if you want to live in an area with your common majors or individual that are in the same intersection. Let us know your gender, cell phone, number of hours completed is very important so we can keep you listed with other individuals in the same class. And then we want to know a mandatory cell phone, credit hours, and date of birth. That's why the asterisks are there. Your class standing is important because we really need to know how many hours you've completed. Are you a true sophomore, true junior, graduate, intensive English? A lot of our students have struggled in the past because they don't know how to define this. Again, we're not interested in the hours that you currently have. We want to know how many hours you've completed. So again, if you're in the middle of the semester, the hours you completed were the previous semester's total. And then we have additional information. Are you an international student? Yes or no? Are you planning to participate in athletics? And if you are, please click yes and list what that sport is. So if you're going to say, well, yes, I'm planning to be here at Wichita State and I want to be in basketball, you're going to type that in to help us make an assignment for you. Do you require special accommodations? Do you need medical, disability, transgender, pregnancy? Do you have a spouse or children? Let us know. Have you ever been convicted of a crime other than minor traffic? Yes or no? And again, if you answer yes, that does not disqualify you from housing, but your application will be reviewed by the Director of Housing or his designee. Roommate matching criteria, folks, we use this in case you don't know who you want to live with. So this is the best formula that we use, much like any other housing application across the country, of do you use tobacco products? Do you prefer to live with a roommate who does or does not? I like to stay up late. I'm clean or I'm not clean. I prefer to study in silence. And do you usually have a lot of visitors? You're going to list this information. Roommate, suitemate preferences are also going to be convenient because if you don't put this formula to help us rank you as someone that has the same preferences as you, then we're going to give you exactly what you wanted. So if you say, you know what, I know the name of the roommate, I know the name of the suitemate, go ahead and list it and make sure you list their ID. The reason we ask for the ID is if you say, I want to live with Joseph Smith, there could be 25 Joseph Smiths. We want to make sure we get the right one for you. So the WSU ID will help us in that process. Roommates and suitemates are not always guaranteed, but we do our best to give you that, and as always, list any additional information. Student account information, this is your FERPA content. That means your privacy. So according to the Buckley Amendment, we want to know if you consent to release your information as a student or you do not, and if so, who can we speak to about your account? Who can we tell that you actually even live here? So if you're going to list parents, you need to type that in there. Let us know their name. Because folks, if you don't list it, we're not going to even say that you're a resident in our community. So for example, if you put Brian Bullinger is the parent that you approved to seek information, that's what you're going to list. The most important section is the terms and conditions. This is what you are agreeing to. It's the final part of contract renewal. Folks, this is what you're held to. Every letter of the law of our contracts with Wichita State University. Terms and conditions. This has been reviewed by our legal system, and it's what you are saying, I absolutely have understood. I have read. I've printed out a copy and given to my parents. You must do this. You click on that link, it's going to take you to the terms and conditions as they are, and it's going to list everything. I know it's small font. That's why I encourage you to print it out and go over every part of it with your family, including the dates that you can move in or need to be out by for your contract period. What's eligibility to live on campus, food service that's available, payment procedures and how you pay for that through financial aid, the room assignments of what we do and do not guarantee to rank you on an assignment. Cancellation, I encourage you to go to the cancellation page and watch the video tutorial there, but if you don't, you're always welcome to read over this. It's a little bit complicated, and I encourage you to email us at housing.wsu@wichita.edu for additional questions. Procedures for vacating, university responsibility, what we're responsible to provide you as a resident, and then university facilities and property, what they keep and what damage may occur and what you'll be responsible for. And finally, the final rules and regulations. That means you've read everything. I understand the handbooks. I understand the student conduct policy. I agree to it. And again, you're going to come back to the application once you read and print that, and you're going to again see that we're saying you've understood. You agree to the handbook, the student handbook, the housing handbook, the student code of conduct, all of the regulations. You've crossed every T, you've dotted every I. I fully understand all the penalty fees, anything that comes with renewing a contract with the university. Once you've agreed to that and you've understood it and you've talked about that with families or friends, you're going to sign your name, and again, by typing your name, you do consent electronically that you are and will be held to all the terms and conditions of this contract. Again, that's what you're agreeing to. You're going to date it, and then that's it, folks. Congratulations, you've survived contract renewal. You've read it, you've filled it out, you've sent in the application. You only have to do that once, and you've got your contract for next year. So we are excited about those procedures, and more importantly, that you've had the opportunity to see exactly what this does. It locks you in for 2014-2015, and as always, I want to thank you for listening to today's video tutorial on contract renewal. This is Brian Bollinger representing the Housing Office, and we are excited to have you return to our community, and as always, I encourage you, make sure you email us for the most up-to-date answers to your questions at housing.wsu@wichita.edu, or give us a call at 316-978-3693. We will also have informational sessions in your building so that we'll get out there in the weeks to come to answer personal questions. Thank you so much for listening to today's video tutorial about contract renewal, and we are grateful to have you return to our community, and we hope you have a wonderful day, and we look forward to talking with you in the future.